Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. So I want to share briefly something that has been on my heart for a few days. And if I want to put a title to it, I would call it Just Start. There's a scripture in the book of Zechariah chapter 4 verse 10. And it simply says, "Do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord desires to see the work begin." It said, "Do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord desires to see the work begin." You know, everything you see around you that is big started small. Everywhere you look, whatever it is around you right now, that is like a big thing. It could be a big building, it could be a big car, it could be a big business, it could be someone doing really well because they've achieved a level of success. Everything you see around you today that is big started small. It started with little by little, bricks upon bricks, line upon line, precept upon precept. So in this video, I just want to talk about starting. Just start. Some of us know where we have so many great ideas, and we keep thinking about those ideas. We keep telling others about those ideas. We share them with our families, with our friends, and we're excited about those ideas and the potential that they carry. But the thing about it is, if all you do is just being excited about the idea, but that excitement does not motivate you, it may just forever remain as an idea. But if you take the step further and actually begin to execute, begin to do the little things that you can do where you are, perhaps that small idea might actually turn to big ideas. And one thing I've come to realize is, in order to be able to do even the big things, let's say you want to do something big, maybe God has called you to do something, you have this business idea that you think will be big. In order to even be able to do those big things that you may be dreaming of or you have a vision for, you have to learn to do these small things well. Even the mundane things, even the repetitive work, even the things that people will not really look at. Because it's in those little small steps, it's in those little small things that you're doing that big thing comes out of. A lot of people look at me and look at the things that I've achieved, and even on my YouTube channel, the things that my piano instrumental music is helping so many people and all that fun stuff. But that is not how I started. I started with what I had. I remember saying to God that all I had is this little gift that you've given me. I'm going to be faithful with it, and I'm going to make myself available. And if you can do anything with this little, do it. That's how my journey started. I never thought my YouTube channel or my music career would get to this point. I never thought that just playing the piano would get me to where I am today. No. But I had to start with what I had, where I was. I didn't have everything. I remember all I had was a very small interface that I bought for like $200, and I had one keyboard that was not even mine. I was borrowing this keyboard that I was using to record some of my music at the early days. So I had to start where I was with what I have. If I had not started, if I had just been thinking about this good idea of creating piano instrumental music and I never started, I don't think I would be where I am today. I don't think so. Every big thing always starts small. Those small ideas are pregnant sometimes with greatness. I'm sure you've heard this saying that says that, great things comes in small packages. So sometimes the ideas that we get, they may be very small. Or you may just feel like, oh, I'm only just good at this. Someone like me, I'm only just good at playing the keyboard. So what is that going to do for anybody, right? It is very easy to kind of undervalue yourself, undervalue your ideas, undervalue the things that you are passionate about. And you keep telling yourself, oh, nobody's going to like this. Nobody's going to buy it. Nobody's going to patronize me. How did you know that? You've never started. It's all in your head. You've not even shared it with me yet. You've not put it on paper. You've not submitted that proposal. You've not actually made that move. You've not made that inquiry. But sometimes we've let all the noises in our head tell us it's not going to work. Sometimes people around you actually helps you to kill those ideas, because if you share your ideas with small-minded people, they don't see it going anywhere. They might shut it down right there and say, oh, this is not going to work. You're dreaming too big. But most time, I believe that we are actually the one that we are killing these ideas in our head. Everybody around you can believe this will work. Everybody around you can believe this is the right thing to do. Everybody around you can believe this has great potential. But if you don't believe that for yourself, you're never going to start. It's always going to remain in your mind. It's always going to remain in your memory. And you're always going to leave it there. not knowing that maybe if you just take that first step and start walking towards that thing that you believe God has called you to do, that thing that you're passionate about, that thing, that idea that will not leave you alone. Maybe if you just take that first step, maybe, just maybe, this might be the thing that you've actually wanted to do all your life. Maybe this might be that thing that will not actually be that solution that everyone has been looking for. You will never know that unless you start. There is a quote that says, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. It's about taking that first step, doing that thing that you must do today. I know that vision is big. I know that dream is big. There is a lot that needs to go into it, but you've got to learn to break into small chunks. And you got to ask yourself, what can I do today to take me closer to that which I'm walking towards? You want to break it down into small chunks that you can actually consume, small chunks that will not be too overwhelming. But it starts by you actually taking the first step and say, you know what, from today, I'm going to start working towards this thing. I'm going to do little by little every day, but I'm going to make sure that I'm not actually just standing still. I'm going to take little steps. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Even if all I have to do is to do my research first, submit a business proposal, whatever it is, I'm going to start today. I read something a few days ago, and it says, 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the things that you did and failed at. 20 years from now, you will look back and say, why didn't I try that? Why didn't I attempt that? I'm not saying you're going to be successful all the time. Sometimes you're going to fail. Sometimes that idea may not work out. Sometimes things may not line up the way they should line up, and that is okay. You can always go back to the drawing board and ask yourself, why didn't this work out? But most of our disappointment in life is going to come from the things we never did, the things that we could have done, the things that we should have done, the steps that we should have taken, the courage that we should have had to go for that thing. And we realize that, why didn't I do that? Why did I allow myself not to do that? Why did I tell myself it's not going to work out? Because the probability of doing something today is higher than doing it tomorrow. And that is what procrastination does. Procrastination will say, oh yeah, we'll do that tomorrow. We'll do that next year. We'll do that next month. And you never get to it. We don't even know if we're going to be here tomorrow anyway. So we might as well maximize today. So whatever it is on your mind right now, do it now. Start it. Start it. Start it. Don't delay. Don't kill that idea in your mind. Don't tell yourself it's not going to work. How would you know if it's going to work or not if you don't try? If you don't actually attempt to do it? Don't listen to that fear. Don't listen to that voice in your head telling you it's not going to work. How would you know if you never tried? And maybe you've tried in the past and you failed. It's okay. You failed at something doesn't make you a failure. The fact that something didn't work doesn't make you a failure. It didn't work. That's fine. Now we're going to try something else. Or now we're going to go back to the drawing board and see what changes can we make to do this again. But you must try again. Don't let the failure of an event to paralyze you from ever trying again. Now you're just scared and you don't want to try. And because of that memory of the failure that happened to you in the past, you are allowing yourself not to try something new. You've got to start. You've got to give yourself another chance. You've got to believe that this actually could work. This actually could be that thing that changes the way people do things. This could actually be the solution that the world has been waiting for. This could actually turn out to be a big thing, but we have to start small. We have to start where we are. We have to make sure, above all things, that we start. So here are 3 things that I want to encourage you with. Number 1 is, don't wait for everything to be perfect before you start. Don't wait for everything to line up. Everything is perfect. It's a perfect weather, perfect season, perfect timing. Guess what? That perfect time will never come. The Bible even says that he who watches the wind will never sow. He who watches the cloud will never reap. So if all you're doing is waiting for the perfect time, guess what? The perfect time is not coming. So don't wait around for the perfect time to come before you start that thing that you want to do, before you start walking in that direction, before you start taking those little steps that will take you to that vision that you're walking towards. And number 2 is, start where you are with what you have. You don't have to have everything to start. You don't have to. I've just told you my own story. I only had a small interface and a keyboard that wasn't mine when I started my YouTube journey. I was borrowing the keyboard that I was using. It wasn't even mine. So what I'm trying to say to you is start where you are with what you have. And the number 3 thing I will say to you is there is always going to be room for improvement along the way. You can always make things better. You can always make things better. When I started sharing my thoughts on YouTube in 2018, you can actually go look at some of my older videos that I did when I first started and compare it to now. I didn't have good lighting back then. I've had to improve along the way. But what I did was I started with what I had. I had a camera. I didn't have good lights, but that was okay for that time. I started with what I had, where I was. And now that I'm able to afford a better light and afford better camera, I can do this now. So there is always room for improvement. There is always going to be room to make things better. So you don't have to be perfect at first. Sometimes, because that's what we think, I want this to be perfect. I don't want to let anybody see this without being perfect. Well, that is your story. That is your journey. I can look back with gratitude from where I was to where I am now. I can look back and say, wow, God has been good to me. Look at where I was. Look at what I had. And look at what I did with it on that level. And look at what God has done today. So that is all part of your story. The fact that it's not perfect at first, it's all good. It's all good. You know what? You were starting with what you have, where you are. And when you are able to do more, you do more. When you are able to buy better equipment, you do that. When you are able to improve on your quality, you do that. But don't let that stop you from starting what you need to start. Remember, everything big around you started small. Anything you look and you desire and you like it started small. It started with an idea in somebody's mind. And then somebody decided to do something with that idea. And that is how we got here today. So you have to start. You must start, because if you don't start, you may look back over your life and have more regrets. You have to start, because you never know who that thing may benefit. You never know what problem you may be solving. You never know how you can make this world a better place if only you just take the first step. Don't look back over your life with disappointment at the things you did not do. Just because you were scared. Just because somebody told you it wouldn't work. Just because you didn't believe in yourself. Start today. It's all going to work out. And if it doesn't work out the first time, the second time, the third time, keep trying. Keep going back to the drawing board. Keep looking at things that you can change. Eventually, if you are faithful with the process, you are faithful with that little that you've been given, eventually you will be rewarded for it. Even the Bible said that he that is faithful in the little shall be given more. So what qualifies you to have more, what qualifies you to get to that big thing is actually your faithfulness demonstrated in the little that you have been given. We need what you have. We need that idea that God has put on your heart. We need that dream that God has placed on your heart. Don't kill it. Bring it to life. But be willing to start small. And then from there you can build up. I really do hope this was helpful to you. If it was helpful to you, make sure you share this video with someone out there and also encourage them on their journey. Also, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, I would ask that you please take time to subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care.